Hey, what's up, everyone? Wanted to show you some Vim macros. I just started playing with it today. Never really understood how to use macros and in what situation I'd want to use them until today. I found a pretty cool example. So in this example, so what Vim macros are? Vim macros are a way to easily record actions and replay them again and again and again on different lines. Um, if you have to do the same thing for 4 lines in a row, which in this example I do, Vim macros can really help you just record the action once and then have it repeat on all the lines. So in this example, what we need to do is under these options here, we need to make all of these equal to a conditional. So all the conditionals will have these names in them. So I'll show you a cool application for a macro. So to record a macro, what you do is you hit the Q key and then any other key after that. So in that case, I hit Q1, and what that did was Q means start recording, and 1 means I'm going to assign this macro to the 1 key. So you can pick any key you want. So I'll quit out of that again, and we'll do this. We'll do this again. So I'm going to hit Q and 1. Now you can see in the bottom left-hand corner that says recording. So anytime it says that, it means you're in the process of recording. Everything you're doing is being saved to a macro. So what you need to keep in mind when recording macros is that you can't rely on the HJKL very much, because that's very specific to the line that you're on and the number of letters that are in words that might vary from line to line. So you really need to rely on making it as dynamic as possible. So, and I'll explain what I mean by that working through this example here. So the first action that I'm going to take is I'm going to hit the 0 key to just jump back to the beginning of the line. So that will sort of give us a similar starting point. And the second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find that $sign, because that $sign means that that's the start of the variable. So I'm going to hit F $sign. So that finds the nearest $sign. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the W to find the next word, because we need to target that word. And I'm going to yank that word into the registry. So I'm going to say VIW for highlight the whole word, and Y for yank. So now that I've done that, I have that word. So that action that I just did, I can repeat that action for all of those other lines, and it'll work the exact same. So that's really what we're looking for. So now what we have to do is replace that null. And what I could do is I could use the HJKL, but that's going to not work because each line has a different amount of text in it to get to the null value. So I need to figure out what's going to work no matter what the length of the line is. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that semicolon, because if I know that the semicolon ends the line and that null is right in front of that. So I'm going to hit F semicolon, and that's going to jump it. Now I could have probably used the T semicolon, and that would have jumped right up to the semicolon, but nevertheless that works too. So now that I'm at the end of the line, I know that I can go 1 space back. Oops! I know that I can go 1 space back, and and now I'll be at null. So now that I'm at null, I'll change that. So I'll do CIW for change that word. And I'm going to start typing. So I'm going to start putting my conditional here. So we're going to say if is set options. And what we're looking for here is we want to now place that whatever we yanked at the beginning of this process, we want to paste in here. So to do that, you can always find your yank register at what is it? Quotes, double quote, 0, and then capital P to paste it before that. So cool. So we just made that dynamic. So now what we have to do is we have to move out of this. So I'm going to say we're going to find the nearest parenthesis, and I'm going to open with A. I'm going to start editing. I'm going to put question mark. So if we have the options, then we're going to print the options. And again, double quote, 0, capital P. So that put in that yank register. Cool. So now I need to find the next semicolon, or not semicolon, parenthesis. And I'm going to go into insert mode, and I'm going to say if that doesn't exist, I'm going to hit null. So I'm going to exit from insert mode, and remember I'm still recording. So now what I want to do is I want to, let's actually have it so it moves down to the next line automatically. So maybe that will make it easier to play that again. But now I'm done. I'm totally done with that. So I'm going to hit Q. And now that I've hit Q, I can recall a macro. So that macro has been saved in that one key. So to replay a macro, it's the @ sign and the key that represents the macro that you want to run. So let's do @1. And there you go. And now we can do, I think a shorthand for this is @@, which is replay the last macro, and @@. So pretty handy. So you can imagine if there were a ton of lines, it could really come into help, really come in handy. And actually, what we could do is, I think you can run it. You can like specify I want to run this 3 times. So 3 @@. Yep. Woohoo! Well, that's cool. So yeah. So we can even, let's take this all back. So this is what we started with. If we ever had to do that again, we could go 4 @ Dope. Power of Vim. Respect.